Welcome back to my Linux from scratch multi-lib journey. As you can see, inside this temp directory, there is a load of files here. These are no longer needed as all the packages have been built. So we can just go remove, and it's going to take a little bit of time because binutils has been installed twice, GCC has been installed twice, so these are very large packages. Same with glibc. And you don't want these left over. We'll be changing ownership as soon as we're done with this. I'm still as the LFS user so that I'm not going to screw too many things up. And go back to the log directory. And as you can see, these logs are no longer needed. These are only just in case you wanted to investigate why a package failed, so we can delete those. And here we should move these zbuild files into another temporary directory since these are no longer needed. Just going to make a directory. This is going to be chapters 5 and 6. And we're going to do a quick move. I think I can do this. Move FV. Open bracket 5, 6. I believe I can do 5 dots. Yeah. Do star.zbc to chapters. And that should move all the files in case you want to rebuild it or save it. And now we're back to normal. And we're also going to be removing the zpackage database. We don't need that one anymore because this is temporary. And now we can do exit and back into our root system. So we want to change ownership here, as well as this is here. These two files. And since I still have the LFS variable set, which I should have just verified first, but I know it's already been done. I have an alias of LL, which means ls-l. I'm just going to go back one, and the only one I have to now change is the zbuild directory. chown -r root path zbuild. Change the ownership of this directory as well. And that is it. We're back. That's there. Now we're going to be creating some temporary file systems like this in our LFS. And we have our new file systems right here. Mounting our file system. Preparing to chroot. Need to mount these so that the virtual environment will have access to the main system. And let's run this last test. And it says mounted to temp-fs. Now, this is the big test. If this fails, we're going to have to rebuild it, but everything should work, and we should be in our new environment. And we have LFS chroot. I have no name. That means our build environment is safe. Now we're going to be creating some directories off of the root directory. Like this. So we're creating a whole bunch of boot directories. Copying and pasting is a lot easier. Just make sure that you're copying and pasting correctly. I've done this so many times that it's very easy. And now let's create our mtab and our host file and password file. Whoops. Control-Shift-V for paste. Copy that. Use the mouse wheel. Setting up our user and passwords files, groups files. And let's create this tester user creates a safe environment for building. And now, if everything goes good, we should have a CHFS root, and we're now root. Finish up these symlinks. And that is it. We have now successfully created our CH root environment, and everything will be done with this. Now, I will be doing a couple of tests before this because I have to reconfigure. Oops, I lost my alias. I have to reset the alias as well. So it's alias ll equals ls-l. Now I have to edit the zbuild config here because now these are going to be slash instead of the amount LFS. 7.7 get text 0.24. With just a slight bit of execution, I just had to copy over some libraries like curl, crypto, PSL into my /op/lib. This is required for the zbuild program. It doesn't seem to have any effect on the overall building of Linux from scratch. And now I have 7.7. We should be able to build 7.7 get text in the chroot environment. And should be working just fine. And as you can see, this will take some bit of time. 1.3 SPU, which will probably be about 3 minutes. So I'm going to put this video on pause. And that only took 4 minutes and 13 seconds. And it's complete. It only installs 3 files, since this is only temporary. And next we'll be building Bison 3.8.2. Okay, I've just created the zbuild file. I don't have Nano installed yet. I probably will be installing it just before chapter 8 begins. But I have just created 7.8 here. And, whoops. 7.8. This will be really quick. And Bison's installing. I guess the only real issue might be I'm using libraries that have already been built on a previous version of LFS. But because this doesn't have boost, curl, or any of those other functions, the zbuild program can't build in this limited environment. I'm gonna have to probably go in and rebuild zbuild with static libraries, so that's another project which I probably will add. And this one's done in 37 seconds. Okay, next up, Perl. And a good reason to have Nano is because of configuration options like this. But I use Kate. Okay, next is now Perl 5.9. I've already edited and created the config. I'm just going to cat. It just creates it into the thing, and there's 5.9, 7.9 ready to go. execute Perl, and it's configuring. And it will take about 5 minutes roughly. And then we'll be moving on to Python. It is now done at 1 minute 48 seconds. Let's move on to Python. This is a very simple one, again as well. Okay, now I've just edited the thing in Kate, my configuration. I'm about to paste it into my cat command. Python is really simple. It's just prefix enable shared and ensure pip. Enter. See, we have that right there, 7.10. And that's ready to go. Just check to see how long. This is probably going to take another 5 to 10 minutes. And it's just checking and checking and checking. This is the configure portion of the building of Linux from scratch. It just checks for certain packages, and a lot of these say yes. Now this is the build phase, which make gets called here, and then it gets called to install if it's successful. Okay, that went off without a hitch. Package database update, but we're going to be deleting that anyways, since these packages will be reinstalled again in Chapter 8. It's successfully completed in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Next up is util Linux. Okay, next up is text info 7.2, which is chapter 711. This cat command is redirecting text input to that file, and it's looking for an EOF at the end. That's why there is these braces here. Let's hit Control V to paste, and that one is done. And 7.11 text info. Build and install should be really quickly. This is getting longer, so I just put this on pause till it's done. Like I said, very quickly, 44 seconds. Okay, next up, util Linux. And this is, and this is going to be a triple install. We have to build this 3 times. Okay, I have now edited the configs. I'm about to paste it in. Very simple. This is for the 64-bit version, hence why it has an x64. And these should be rather quickly. It says only 0.2 SBU units. But I'm having dinner, so I'm going to put this on pause. Okay, first one of 3 is completed in 49 seconds. I'm not going to do a make disk clean. I'm going to extract this into its own directory. Okay, just as the first one, I'm going to create the configuration for the M32 bits. This one's slightly different because it has a dester installed to the lib32 directory. And execute 7.12.2, which is the M32. I believe this one's probably takes about, it doesn't say, but probably takes about the same amount of time. Then after this, we're going to be cleaning up, and we'll save this temporary system in case we ever want to rebuild this from scratch again. It's always good to have a backup copy of an initial temporary tools. Okay, I think maybe there's a little bit of an issue with the script here with the dester install. I think it installed to the right directory, but it did install to the Z build libdester, and I'm going to install now to the user lib32. And it looks like it's installed. Okay, these should be the lib32 files. Okay, next up, x32-bit. Hopefully this one works better. Okay, now I have the third configuration ready to go. Just about to paste it in. And we'll see if this one goes off without a hitch. And now it's building and compiling for MX32. Yep. Okay, I don't know if it's a script issue or something to do with the PWD. But for some reason it's installing to /cbuild dester. And I can manually install it with this command right here. And there we go. It's copied over to libx32. And that is it for this one. Next up, we're going to be cleaning up the system, because all these are no longer needed in the final build. And let's clean up the LA files. And now we do not need the tools. We now have a complete build environment. And I will be backing up this in the next video. Backing up our system here. This can be reused later on, and we don't have to rebuild all these 32-bit libraries. I was just doing some checking to see how big the actual file is. These are just temporary things that can't be accessed from DU. But let's start off with exiting from the system and unmounting those file systems so we don't back those up or any stray files from there. Paste into there. And now make sure to see where, and this is our file system here. This is what we want to back up. And I've already created one of these, but I'll just have to paste into here. And I want to go --exclude sources. So we're not backing up the source files. And this will probably take maybe 5-10 minutes. But we're not backing up the sources directory. We will be just backing up all of these directories here. And I'm just going to check to make sure I'm backing up into the right directory. Yes, we are. Progress in the VM. It's at 284 meg right now. Okay, and now we're done. As you can see, let's do ls-l home. It is 1.2 gigabytes. At this point, you could take this image tar file and drop it into any system that you want, and you could use this to build the next version, which is the primary LFS system. I'm just going to open up a new tab here because I gotta go back to chapter 7. Here, preparing the virtual kernel, and we're going to remount these file systems now. And re-enter our virtual environment. And we'll just run this just to make is installed. It is already mounted. Enter our root environment again, and everything should be the way we left it. And there we are. And we're back here. Now we're just going to go back to our zbuild directory. And of course we don't have our alias since we exited, so we're going to alias ll equals ls-l, just so you can see what we have done. Now we're just going to be moving these chapter 7s. We should actually just move it and leave it in the chapter 5 and 6. I always do -v. I like to have verbose just to see what it's copying. 7 dot star zbc to chapters 5 and 6. There we go. We should also rename our directory there from chapters 5 and 6 to, I'm using curly braces. This is a shortcut, and it means to change 5 and 6 to go 5-6-7. And there we go. It has renamed chapters 5 and 6 to chapters -5-6-7. And to verify, it is there. So we don't need this tab open. And now we've re-entered. We can verify. Oh, we haven't. Do that. And you can see we're mounted. Next up is installing the basic system. This is very easy. A lot of it is just copying and pasting, and they're very small pushes. Then we'll be doing a special system configuration because we'll be installing other packages in there, as well as then setting up chapter 10 for the Linux kernel and grub UEFI, which I'll go through as well, all using the same zbuild program. So I'll see you on the other side of chapter 8. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed these videos.